Waco. I am your host, Debbie, here to help you get in the know about Waco.
This week, I'm going to be talking about some upcoming events happening in August, and I have a special guest with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kate Ragon, and I own the candy store, The Sweet Station, and I own Central Goods, the new vintage antique store here in Waco.
Yeah, and are you a Waco native, or what brought you to Waco?
I'm not a Waco native.
Ooh.
I grew up north of Dallas in McKinney.
Okay.
Some people know where that is. Some people are like, where?
Mm-hmm.
So I just say North Dallas.
Yeah.
But 3 years ago, we came to Waco because we couldn't decide, like Austin, Dallas, where we want to live.
The predicament. So you threw a dart and it landed right in the middle.
Right smack dab in the middle. And here we are. And we love it.
Yeah.
We're so glad that we chose Waco.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah, it's so awesome. We love it so much.
All right, yeah, and so you've been living here for 3 years now, and you said you grew up in McKinney, and I know you've traveled around a lot. Do you want to tell me some of the other places you've been?
Yeah, so I grew up in McKinney, went to college at Fidoma Design School in LA, and then I actually lived in LA twice, 2 different times. Couldn't make up my mind. And then I lived in Nashville, and I also lived in Detroit, and then made my way back to Texas. And I think I'm staying here for the rest of my life because I can't. I'm a Texan, like through and through.
Yep.
Like it's in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to come back.
Yeah. So besides location, what else made you guys choose Waco?
Affordability.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we both grew up, like my boyfriend and I both grew up kind of in small towns, I guess you could say, at the time.
Yeah.
And so it kind of reminded us of home, and it was a little bit removed from like home to where you're not like
your mom can't show up on your front door.
Right. Yeah. It was like a toss up, but right when we came to Waco, I was like showing him, like as a Texan, I've been to Waco before.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him, I was like, what do you think? He was like, this is perfect. I love this place. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we made the decision, I think, in like 2 weeks. We're moving to Waco. So we just did it. It was crazy, but it was so awesome.
Yeah. And you guys had the Sweet Station before you even moved here. Is that right?
Yeah. So, we came here to look at a house.
Mm-hmm.
Once we decided, we were like, okay, hopefully we can move in the next month. We came here. We saw a house online. We messaged them. We were like, hey, we want to come look at it. So we came and looked at it, and we were like, okay, awesome. We like the house. We're kind of wanting to move in 2 weeks. And they were like, cool. Yeah. So as we were driving kind of around after eating lunch, we were like, okay, we can kind of spend a little bit of time here. We drove past our location that is now the Sweet Station. And we were like, oh man, that's such a cute building. And I always love architecture and stuff. I'm like, oh, I always see potential. I'm like, that could be the cutest store. And my family's been the candy business for as long as I remember. And we were like, we kind of looked at each other and we were like, should we do this?
Mm-hmm.
Should we open a candy store? And so we called, and long story short, by the end of the day, we had the building, and we had not even really signed on the dotted line for our house. So we were like, cool. If the house falls through,
we'll just live in the candy store.
We'll just live in the candy store while we're working on it to get it ready. And the next day we got the house, all that stuff. And so I think a week later, we ended up bumping it up. We're like, oh gosh, we have a building, for a store. We got to get everything in line. So we moved up a week later and lived out of boxes because we were so focused on getting that ready. But yeah, we got that, and we were like, oh, we don't even have dishes in the, cabinets, but we're getting the store ready.
Yeah.
And, here we are, now almost 3 years later. Mm-hmm. And now we have a second store. So It's just it's crazy. And it's wild to think about where we were and then now where we're at.
Yeah. So why candy?
I like it. No, I think everyone likes it.
Sweet tooth?
Yes. My parents being in it, I always help them go, buy, and we wanted something really cool. And for their store is all vintage candy, and they also do gourmet popcorn. Mm-hmm. And we were like, okay, well the space is not that big, so let's stick to this kind of old gas station vibe, vintage candy soda.
And it's perfect. Yeah.
And it just, everything worked. And, you know, we wanted to put like our mark on it. You know, we have that cool ode to the
Oh,
Grateful
yes.
Dead mural on the
Love
side
that.
of the building. We were like trying to figure
Photo
out.
op.
It was like, yeah. So we were like racking our brains and we drew out so many ideas and, you know, we were like, oh, what do we do? You know, we were like, I love Waco. Like, we were like, what do we do? You know, we were like, we want it just to be cool and maybe different. Like,
Yeah.
and so we were like, well, we love the Grateful Dead. And then that, you know, that like
Mhm.
that lyric kind of fit. And then we wanted to, you know, do the sweet thing. So everyone seems to really, really love it and like take pictures with it. And we love like providing that spot for them. So yeah.
Yeah. And what has it been like being an entrepreneur here in Waco with all this growth?
It's really good. I was nervous and not reluctant necessarily, but when you move and you're not like native and you move to a new town and you kind of jump into it, you know, you don't know what the response is going to be. But we were like welcomed with open arms and everyone was so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like y'all are like, you know, newly local, but it is locally owned. And like, it's, you know, it's, you're putting love and everything back in the community. And, you know, now years later, we have like regulars and we have all these people and tourists that come back to the candy store and they're like, oh yeah, I was here last year. And like, you know, we're like, yes, we remember. Like, it's just so cool being like so welcomed into the community that easily could be like, no, you know, be like, we want our, you know, our little thing, our little bubble and y'all can't come in. Yeah. But we were like, we were so welcomed and it was so, so amazing to see like all the positivity and everyone just being like, welcome. We're so excited. This is so cool. And it's just so fun. And that's kind of, we just wanted to have like a cool, fun place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And speaking of tourism in the community, what is it like being over there by Magnolia?
It's really cool because we see so many like different types of people, people from all over. So we get to not only just, you know, show them cool candy and things like that, but we also get to go, where are you from? And we get to have, you know, what brought you to Waco? And we take those, you know, whether it's a 10-second conversation or it turns into they stand beside the register and we talk through like, you know, customers because you kind of create these like relationships with people and you know, you actually ask them like, how was your day? Like, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to see? Here's some recommendations of some cool things to do. And it's like, it's so cool with like the locals that come in and the tourists that come in and just like the blending of all of that is, you know, so awesome. And it's just, we're like really, really blessed and thankful for that.
Yeah, and I know you guys have some really cool stuff in your shop. Like I think you said you had candy from like the 1910s and the 1920s.
Yeah, so we have done lots of research and like we've gone to the candy show. They have like a big
candy show.
Yeah.
I need all access pass to this.
I know, right? It's so exciting. Like once a year, it's like all these like candy companies.
Oh wow!
That are essentially in a big convention center, and you get to go like, you know, essentially find candy that maybe hasn't been out, and some big, you know, candy mass produce whatever. I don't know how all that works.
The candy hierarchy.
Yes, the candy hierarchy of candy. And they go, oh yeah, we just bought the recipe and the rights to some candy that was made in 1925.
Cool.
And then they start, you know, they roll it out into where we just kind of met a bunch of people and got to like try candy and see stuff. And we kind of have collected candy that your grandparents can go, I had this when I was a kid.
Aww.
Or, you know, oh my gosh, they did away with these, you know, like candy cigarettes. Like, that is like the best, like, explanation for like the vintage candy world because you know every mom's like, oh yeah, I had these and they like puffed at, you know, on the end and now they can't do that because of like it promotes smoking or whatever. And so, you know, everyone comes in and goes, oh my gosh, candy cigarettes, like freaks out about it. But it's candy. It's like people don't realize it seems like such a simple thing, but it's such a crazy thing, like a crazy world of candy because it's like, you know, we have to order Christmas stuff in like January.
Oh, wow.
And so like after Christmas, you're like, I don't want to think about Christmas. And then you have to like order Christmas in January and you're like, oh my gosh, another month of like Christmas candy, you know, for the next year. So it's just kind of like this ever evolving and rotating holiday.
Yeah.
And trying to keep up with trends.
I bet.
Like we just got like all the TikTok, like all the crazy like TikTok viral candy, like all the like fruit, whatever those things are, like the Din Don like squishy things.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
Gummy
just-
videos are also very trendy on TikTok right now, where it's like the box filling where they like pour the different gummies in.
Yeah.
I don't know why those are
We
trendy.
have all kinds of stuff like that. And like the like gummy worlds
Mhm.
that are really popular.
Mhm.
We have, we get like those. Or like
Mhm.
so we have to stay on top of trends, but also like have that good foundation of like vintage candy.
Yeah.
So people know they can come in and get like a package of candy cigarettes, an Astro Pop, and like an old recipe Dr. Pepper or something, and be
cool.
like in a glass bottle, like that cold, like pop the top and you're on your way.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
So your love of old candy and old architecture obviously translated into your new location. Do you want to tell me how you got into the vintage business?
Yeah, so with my parents doing the whole popcorn candy thing,
Mm-hmm.
my dad like on the side was always kind of like in the antique world or
Oh,
doing
wow.
something. And my mom was like a lover of antiques growing up, so like I was always at like flea markets and like all that kind of stuff. My
Love
mom-
those. Yeah.
love them. And as I got older, high school, you go through that, yuck. Like, it's like old stuff. But I always like loved like my mom's appreciation for it and how she like always put it together. Then I went to college and I went to like design school. And so I like am a very visual person. And then I started doing set design after college and production design and stuff for movies and television and commercials, all that jazz. But I was realizing as I was getting older, I was like, oh my gosh, my mom had a bigger effect on me,
Yeah.
like, I was always like working, with props and furniture and going, oh, I love that, like, Art Deco, whatever it may be, like Art Deco clock or like Tiffany lamps or, all
Yeah.
this stuff, and then as I like, lived in LA and did the whole thing, moving
The
around.
LA thing.
I guess that's the best way to describe it. Moving around and then finally coming back to Texas, I was like, okay, my love for like antiques and vintage translates differently here now.
Yeah.
And so I like started doing like pop-ups, like and doing shows, like traveling to like Austin and Dallas and doing like these like vintage market days kind of shows. And I'm doing Round Top. So, like I passed 3 or 4 years I've been setting up at Marburger, which is like a big like field. That's like a whole different conversation. It's like Round Top is like an anomaly. It's just like this 20-something mile stretch of land where it's just like fields of tents and buildings and stuff, and it's like a couple weeks, a couple times a year. And so I used to like, my dad does it, and then I used to like go and shop, and I was like, well, I'm old enough now to be like a vendor. And so I've started like being a vendor there and, doing like these crazy like setups and like building all this crazy stuff like for my booth. And I just like loved it. And then with living here, we got the candy store running, and I was still like doing traveling and stuff. And I was like, what if we like not necessarily just had like a me store, but like an us store, like a Waco store. And we gave, that we had like vendor spots. So I guess Central Goods is like a modern or like a tweaked take on an quote unquote antique mall. But it's like really curated. And so we kind of translated that, our ideas kind of into what the store is now. And it's been wild to see like how fast it all happened. And we weren't really ready for it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's like when you're supposed
That's how
to do
it
it.
is in Waco. I think that's just the Waco experience. You're not ready for it.
You're like, we
It
weren't
just
really
happens.
prepared, and we were like, oh, okay, it's kind of like how with the candy store. We weren't really ready or prepared, but we did it, and we've been very, very blessed, and same with this store, and we just were like, okay, let's do it, and we'll figure it out later. You know?
That's
It's like,
crazy.
it's just jumping off the cliff and just going, we'll figure it out. Okay, hopefully it works. Okay,
Yeah. And you guys have 17 vendors, is that right?
Yes.
And then you guys also have your own stuff in the store as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have, the building itself is like 7,500 square feet.
It's big and beautiful.
It's big. And we were like, are we going to be able to find like enough vendors? And we kind of looked at each other and I was like, I think I have enough stuff in storage that could potentially fill this whole building.
Yeah.
But we were, we had made our Instagram and started like, hey, like, posting, and people were like, are you going to do vendor space? Like, are you going to? And we were like, yeah, we are. We're going to have like vendor spaces. So before we even announced that we had any vendor spots available, we were like 70% filled already.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, okay, this is great. I hope it works, because we not only are responsible for our stuff, we're responsible for making, everything like essentially perfect to take care of all these other vendors. And we wanted to make sure that they were taken care of correctly. Yeah. And, we like tried to troubleshoot everything, like, okay, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? How will we resolve it? And then we kind of create all these, all these little avenues that we were like, okay, like, this is how we would fix any of these problems. And none of those problems probably will ever happen. But we wanted to be prepared. Because
overly prepared is better.
Being overly prepared, because it's not just us. It's we're essentially responsible for 17 other people's small businesses. Yeah. And like the response has been crazy in a really, really good way. And to where like the vendors are going, okay, we can't find stuff fast enough. Like, which is a good problem to have. And so they're kind of like out searching, because we're, we are there every day to like run the store, to where it gives the vendors all chances to be out on picking trips and things like that. And, we have our own stuff in there, but I was like, you know what, even if I don't sell a single thing, that's okay, because I want to make sure like this works for everyone else. And so like I have a booth, like a big booth that has, all my like home decor and furniture and everything in it. And then like my boyfriend has all of his like vintage clothing, and we tried to cover every basis. Like have something for the high school Baylor student, but also have something for their mom, and have something for dad
and grandma
and grandpa. Like they can all find something. Yeah. So we really wanted to just like make it curated and like good quality stuff, but there still be everyone's covered. Like everyone can find something in there. Yeah. So yeah, it's been really, really cool seeing the evolution of an empty building to now that we're like 21 days in. Yep. And it's like, oh, this is happening. Like, I think we're past the point of exhaustion of like getting it ready and getting it open, to where like we're rolling. Like we're great. Rolling and we're trying to plan ahead. And so now we're thinking of not like, okay, how do we get open? It's like, okay, what are we going to do in a month? What are we going to do in 3 months? What are we going to do for Christmas? Like, those kind of things. Yeah. And I know you guys have Virgo & Co. So they set up a lot at the East Side Market. Do you want to talk about some of your other vendors that are in there? Yeah. So we have Virgo, and we have, let's see, Karen, who owns ABC Antiques. She's out in Robinson. Oh, wow. She kind of became my Waco mom when I first moved here. Yeah, I met her. Gosh, I think I met her in Round Top, and we started talking, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm moving to Waco. And she was like, well, if you ever need anything and your mom's not around, I can be your Waco mom. If there's ever an emergency. And I was just like, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. And we've, she's been so sweet. And so we have her. I'm trying to think. Oh, my goodness.
I should have asked you to bring a list.
I know. We have Susan, who has Lolly and Dots, and she's from Clifton. Kat, who has Vintage Vita Nova. She's also from Clifton. We have Lemon Vintage Finds. Let's see. We have Siesta Motel, who does like Southwestern stuff. It's like
I love her booth. Yeah. I went in there and I was like, oh my gosh, like her jackets. Oh, I know. Those denim jackets.
They're incredible.
I saw them and I was like, this is a piece of art. I don't even want to wear it. Like that pink denim one that's up there. I saw it and I was like, I would buy it, but I would be afraid to wear it. I'd be afraid to ruin it. I just want to look at art. That's true. It's true.
Yeah. And then we have, let's see, OG Antique Supply, which is, they have like the coolest like old book plates, like packaged book plates you can like frame.
I think I saw those. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so cool. And then let's see, we have Kids Table Vintage. We have T-shirt Hoarder, who is out of Fort Worth. I'm like trying to rack my brain of like everyone's like, Instagrams, I guess we could say.
I'll just tag everybody.
Yeah, we have Wayback Kids, who is like vintage kid stuff.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
So cute.
yeah, and they're out of like Fort Worth, and yeah, so we have like
So a lot of local stuff.
yeah, we tried to like keep, give local small businesses like a spot, because not everyone can just open a storefront, and so we wanted to give, everyone a chance. And so that's kind of what we like culminated in this. And like, it's really cool seeing all the different, because everyone, you could put 10 vintage things on a table.
It's also different, but amazing.
Yeah, and everyone can put it together differently. And that's kind of what we wanted. Like, you can find something in every booth that's there.
Yeah.
Put it together and it works.
It's
you know
gorgeous,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it like works all together. And so like, and just people's perspectives, I'm like, oh, I would have never like thought to use that, like display that way or like whatever. It's just really cool. And it's like kind of gives you like creative inspiration too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, what can I do with, you start like your wheels start turning like every time like vendors come in, and I'm like, what did you bring in? I want to see, I want to see what newness is coming in. It's really cool. And I'm like, can I call dibs on that? I like want to call dibs on everything, but I'm like, oh gosh, no, I can't, because my house would be more full than it is.
I know. You said you already had a storage building full.
Oh, I have like my garage is full, my house is full. I have 2 storage units.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. That's like I guess that you can say it's my midlife crisis.
Oh, okay.
I think COVID, I was like hoarding like vintage stuff. And then this happened. So I'm like, great, this gives me an avenue to get rid of it, because I have to.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just, I need a garage back. I need my garage back. My boyfriend would be like, oh, yeah, we need our garage back. Like yesterday.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, now I have a place to, start selling it. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you've cultivated this amazing vintage community and have helped be a part of it. I know you guys are actually planning your grand opening soon. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when we opened July 1st, it was like our soft opening, because we wanted to work the kinks out.
Make sure it works.
Yeah. And like work all the kinks out to make sure like our card swiper worked.
Yeah.
And just like all the things, make sure we had just all the correct, things to make sure the whole store can run itself.
Yeah.
And so August 21st is a Saturday, and we are having our actual grand opening like shindig.
Awesome.
And we're so excited, and we're like already planning, and we're like trying to plan and think forward, like I was saying, because it's gonna be here before we know it. And we're gonna like have some vendors outside and food trucks and all kinds of stuff going on inside. Some just, like some stuff that's just temporary, like some I can't really talk about it. 'Cause we have some surprises that's like, some
Secrets.
cool. Yeah. So we've already kind of been working on some fun secret stuff. So like we'll be able to announce it when we like post in like a week or so about all the things that we're doing. But we're gonna have like I said, like the vendors outside, which are we want to support small local Waco businesses that aren't ready for a spot or whatever it may be, or they just go, I have a service and I want to show the Waco community my service. Like, we want to help those people or give them a platform, even though it's just a Saturday at a random store that some people might not even like know what what it is.
Well, people are gonna know now, because they know Waco.
There you go. The people that our customer will, they'll get our customer that it all works, like it fits, like their service works with the kind of customer that we have. And just getting the word out. We have been so welcomed and blessed, and people have been so nice in getting the word out for our businesses. Like, we want to now be that person that can get the word out and help other small businesses grow.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, not only is it like, hey, it's our grand opening, but it's more like, hey, we're here. We want to support small businesses. So here we are. Here it all is. And so, we're really excited about that coming up, I guess, actually a month from today.
Wow.
Well, not today, but it's the 20th.
When this episode comes out.
Yeah. So, I'm really, really excited.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas morning, kitty. Because we have so much stuff that we're just like really working on and really wanting it to be great.
Yeah. And speaking of the community, and especially you guys being blessed, is there anybody you want to shout out in the community?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of favorites.
Ooh.
like, okay, I guess, should I just like go down like a favorite food place?
I mean,
favorite,
just anybody that's helped you out on the journey. You can even shout out your mom, your dad, your grandma. It doesn't have to be anybody specific, but
okay.
You can shout out your dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. My dog. He's been he's a COVID dog.
Oh,
got him over COVID, rescued him, and he's like helped us through like tears, going like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not ready for it. You know, my dog is the OG. He is the best.
Shout out.
Yeah, he is sometimes the store dog at Central.
Aww.
So his name is Gus. He has one ear up and one ear down. So like if you ever see that behind the counter,
that's adorable.
He's gonna be there. Hopefully we're trying to get him used to it. So shout out to Gus, man. Also shout out to Alpha and Omega for keeping us very happy on like long days after the store.
Yep.
No, like that's like our go-to.
Shrimp gyros, always. Get them.
Good.
Delicious.
And like the Greek like feta fries.
Delicious.
Oh my goodness. And yeah, like I'm like, oh, thinking about it for dinner. No, and then I'm trying to think. Karen, ABC and D's.
Yes.
My Waco mom, she's the best. And really, I guess just like the whole vintage like community, like it's like kind of like a very blanket statement.
Yeah.
But like
no, I got it.
Like everyone, we've met so many people like at like Eastside Market, you know. And
shout out to those guys.
Seriously, they're doing like some awesome
work
stuff. Seriously, like something that like has been needed.
Yeah.
And even from the time we've been here, you know. And yeah, and like so many vendors that we've met there have become like friends. Like just will pop in and be like, hey, like,
what's up?
Yeah, like, you want to hang out? Like, you know, like, and we figured out one of our friends who also does vintage T-shirts. He lives down the street from us.
Oh,
we had no idea, but we like
the Waco community is amazing.
I know. And like, you know, so like everyone at Eastside, we've like been so thankful for like being kind of like welcomed, even though we have never been able to do Eastside. We always go and try to support, because that's again going back to like the small business thing, like trying to support everyone in like small business, and small business owners. We're like family because we all get it.
Yep.
We're like, we all have to help each
other.
other.
We have sat outside in the 100-degree heat trying to sell some wares,
and we're like, please,
I buy these things for me, please.
Yeah. And I sweated for this. I was in the rain for this, you know, and it's so cool to see, you know, just all the Waco community, even from people from out of town that just go, what is Eastside Market? We're in town. Let's go. And they're like, oh, this is really cool. Yeah. Like, y'all are doing something really cool, you know? And so, yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
And what's something else you would like to see more of in the Waco community?
That's a question. Potholes filled.
Okay, yeah. Besides I-35 being completed.
Not worrying about if my tire's gonna pop driving down some of these roads. No, I'm just kidding.
That is a good that's a good thing.
City of Waco's working really hard, so I'm not gonna you know.
I'll tag them in this.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Kelly Palmer. She's the OG. She's great. No, but she I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm like now I'm like on a rant about like city like potholes. No, but I think more like, I don't know. I like what I'm seeing with like younger small business owners. Also, you know, like the market to like live has gone up crazy. So like as like business owners, you're not seeing as many people be able to open up their own shops.
Yeah.
Because not only is like housing, it's like commercial building, you know, like all this stuff, and development, which is a positive thing.
Yeah.
In the big scheme of things, positive thing, you know. So I think like, I guess more almost like it'd be cool to see almost like a union hall, but for small businesses that are like their own individual like shop.
That'd be amazing
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it would be kind of, you know, just giving people like an affordable storefront. And that's like, I guess, a version of what we're doing, but you know, it's a tweaked version.
Yeah.
You know, and I also, I don't know, just Waco's good. Like
Waco is good. You heard it here first.
Yeah, Waco is good. Correct grammar and everything. But it's cool to see all the things that have been done, even in the short time that I've lived here, like the positive like turns and like things that we go, oh wow, that's great. Like that's really great for like the city of Waco.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How have you seen the development grow since you've been here in the last 3 years?
A lot.
Yeah,
like a lot. It's
stocks.
Yeah. Like the emoji, like stock
yeah,
symbol.
the stock emoji.
Yeah, like that's been Waco, just growing and growing. But it's great. Like you'll drive down a different, a street you never really drive down. Say you go, oh, this road's closed. And you go down and you go, wait, where did those come from? Or like, oh my gosh, all these houses have been redone. Or, oh, this is a new storefront that I haven't seen. Like, why have I, or like whatever it may be. It's really cool to see just that, the development and the growth of Waco. And I think, the people, I guess the hierarchy of Waco, they are looking forward and looking like I'm seeing positive developments because I'm like a secret like politics nerd. So I like to like watch the city council meetings and things like that because I like to stay in the know because like I don't. There you go. Plug in.
Shout out.
But like
roll credits.
There you go. And we're done. No. I really like to stay on top of it just so I know, because as a business owner, I have to know. Not necessarily I have to know, but it's positive to know to where I can go, okay, cool, this is what the direction they're going in. Or, like both of our stores are on like, the candy store's on 8th and Webster. The Central's on 17th and Franklin. So they're on like bigger streets or around big things. And,
and Central Goods is just big in general.
It's just a big building. But seeing like, oh, like they're starting to redo the street on, was it 8th Webster, on Webster? Yeah. And it's just seeing that, and it's in a positive.
They have it all blocked off, so then you got to make the whole little block to get back up.
And then like you see like some of the tourists that have gone down in the ditch,
and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and you're like, sorry, did you not see the signs? But it's like, that kind of stuff is like for the positive.
Yeah.
Like for the growth, for what's happening to Waco, which is tons of tourists are coming. The city itself is growing. More people are moving here and realizing that it's a awesome city to live in, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like all in all, the growth is good.
Yep.
Like I've lived in big cities and it's like sometimes it's too big, but I think Waco is so like small, like not necessarily small town, like
big city, small town feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like gonna grow, and it can only grow to obviously like a certain size, but it has that like small town feel to where you can go to a restaurant and see someone or be walking.
And then you find out people are your neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. Like finding out one of our friends is like one of our neighbors. We had no idea. Like, but it's like doing those things that you go, oh wow, like I can still go out and see people I know and connect with people that I've met before, or reintroduce myself to someone that we've met once, and then you don't know, like you become friends, or you both have small businesses and you can work together. It's just, I love that like big city, small town feeling thing that Waco has. And I think it's like, it's here to stay as much as it grows. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so, so good.
And that's amazing. Is there anything else you want to share with us today? About your grand opening, about the sweet station, about anything you want?
No, I think we kind of covered it. I mean, awesome. I went on a lot of like tangent talks.
It was great.
Yeah, like I can just talk and talk. But like, I hope everyone comes and sees us on the 21st because we have so much fun stuff going, and we want to see everyone. We want to meet everyone. Woo! Like I'm such like, I love meeting people. So like, if you don't want to, come, still come, because we have lots of stuff and I want to meet you. That's really the thing. Yeah. I want to know people's names. I want people to like know us and know that they can come, and we're like a safe, fun environment and building and business, and they can come hang out all day. Yeah. We play like Fleetwood Mac and like AC/DC and then John Mayer and like Grateful Dead. Like we play like cool music. So it's fun. It's a fun hang spot.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. I'm so glad I got to meet you and learn more about you.
I know, and thanks for letting me just talk and talk your ear off. I appreciate that. Because sometimes my boyfriend's like, you're done talking. Can we not, I've talked to you all day. Can we just like go home and watch a movie and not talk? I'm like, cool. So I appreciate you letting me talk.
Yeah, of course. And again, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. This is your host, Debbie, signing off. Now that you know, go. Just go, Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.